Welcome, everybody. I'm Dr. Luke on call, and I'm privileged to host the fourth Utrust Community AMA tonight. I'm coming to you live from Cape Town. We've got our guests in Portugal. Welcome, Sanja, Nuno, and especially tonight, welcome, Pedro.
Hey, y'all.
Dr. Luke, nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Thank you
Pedro,
all
and as
for
I
coming.
said to you before, I think we give the prize to Pedro for being the most well-dressed person on the chat tonight. Welcome in your first one, and we've done a few of them, and it's really great to have you here. And you know, the purpose of the AMA is to get questions from the community that we can ask you guys, and you can really give us upfront, honest answers. The ones you can answer, sometimes you won't be able to, but you know what it's like. We always really enjoy the privilege as a community to be involved and to engage with Utrust, and we thank you. Yeah, I really thank you for your time and doing this. And Pedro, I think let's kick off with you, since you're the one that joins us for the first time. The first question that is from our community members came from someone that asked, can you talk about your experience in joining the Utrust team, and what were your first impressions and your experience thus far?
Okay, so nice to meet you first, Dr. Luke. We have talked a lot on Telegram, but this is the first time I really speak to you in person. Well, joining Utrust was a big challenge because of the virtual environment, and it was the first time I onboarded the company full remote, so that's a challenge by itself. I was extremely well received. It's a bit of a cliche, but after almost 3 months here, I really feel like it's a family. Maybe it's because we're almost all Portuguese. We are very warm. People have been amazing with me. Can't complain at all about anything. It's my first time in a small startup, so I was wondering about a lot of things, and I can tell you the organization is world class. I'm very surprised actually with a lot of things. I shared with Sanja a few days ago that when I was younger, I read a book, maybe some of you read, called Good to Great from Jim Collins. And it's about what's the difference between good and great companies. And probably 99% of the book I got lost on my brain somehow. But something that stuck was, it's all about having the right people on the bus. And we absolutely have the right people on the bus. Obviously, we are hiring more people, but we have the right people. I'm extremely excited. And in the crypto environment, lots of companies are very strange, I would say. And here I have the feeling we are a real company, making a real product for real people. So couldn't be more excited about it.
Yeah, thank you. And you know, I think that's, even from a community point of view, that's what we've experienced. You know, all the way from the ICO in 2017, it's just been a family, and watching this company building and building and building right through the bear market. It has been amazing. Sanja, on that topic, the one question that I first want to ask you tonight is, when will there be a roadmap that shows the users roughly where the journey is going in the long term?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for hosting again, Dr. Luke. Amazing job, and great to be with everyone here, joined by Pedro as well, his first time in an MIA. So really, really excited. Related to the roadmap. So as you know, for everyone following us for a long time, we've been very open about our roadmap in the past, making it transparent and available to everyone to view. However, we concluded that, you know, operating in a very dynamic, a very competitive environment, we need to readjust and sometimes refocus on a monthly basis. So very, very often. So this is based on, you know, market conditions, clients, partnership requirements. So we have also an internal team focusing on research, and they're constantly monitoring the market. They're interviewing our customers, our prospects, understanding their needs. So basically what happens is then every month we need to reprioritize the roadmap, almost every month. And some of the updates in the roadmap might be caused by, you know, confidential information we are unable to share, or technical needs driven from security reviews. So this means that for us explaining, you know, why a feature was postponed can become very difficult if we need to do that for the whole roadmap. So therefore, we opted for having a transparent roadmap internally, but only sharing external key topics, so key themes and also the delivered feature. And we feel this is a better way to communicate and especially manage expectations. What I can share is that there are some key themes we are focusing on now. The first one is invoicing. So invoicing has been a feature that it's been in beta so far. However, we've seen, extremely high adoption. Customers are very happy with the solution. So we will be rolling out to the whole market. And then the team is working on key themes such as crypto settlements, the opportunity to settle in fiat and crypto or a combination of both, merchant yield, adding new currencies, as well as redefining our money flow. Happy to talk about that in more detail, but basically we are redefining our money flows that is more optimized for revenue, for us to collect a higher profit.
Yeah, I think we are getting to one or two of those questions. I saw some of them as well coming through later. Nuno, I haven't forgotten about you, so let's give you one as well. What would you say is the next milestone for Utrust?
I believe, among all of the stuff that we are doing from a back-end perspective, I think the money flow now it's a very, very big project, and for sure very ambitious, because we want to optimize our margins to become more profitable. Besides that, obviously, you know that we have the merchant yield and cashback for merchants coming.
Yeah.
We are also working actively to expand to new regions, and this is, trust me, very, very a tough one, because it requires a lot of effort from multiple team members in different areas. I think that end of year, beginning of next year, we are going to start exploding, hopefully. Not that we are not growing above and beyond all of our expectations, because Sanja can talk a little bit about it, but we did basically the expectations for H1 this year, and we completely surpassed all of the metrics we had in place. Still, we are never happy. We want more, obviously. We want to grow much more. The amount of merchants that we have been onboarding growing day after day, but we want more and more, and we know that there are regions that we cannot serve. We could, but we don't want to serve those regions in an unlicensed way, because technically we could serve them. There are a bunch of companies that, for example, serve the US and have no licenses.
Yeah.
They don't have licenses across all states and whatnot, so we could do the same. We have banking partners to serve the US as well. It was our own decision to not go in that direction, our own decision to wait. We don't believe that crypto is something that is not here to stay, and it's just in the beginning. This is a marathon. For the users that are listening to us here, our beloved community, we have so many plans, so much that we want to deliver in the next months, that I believe next year is going to be very, very exciting for us. And obviously there are stuff that we cannot talk about. I was talking with Pedro, Sanja, Rodrigo, and other team members. Should we touch this topic in the MAA or not? And some topics we decided not to talk. Again, the old story, NDA and whatnot. But rest assured that we are working in some really, really huge things. I told that in the last MAA before we announced Hold. We are now again working in very, very big things, and I think Hold, if we compare Hold next to what we are working on now, it's very small. So it gives you an idea of how big some stuff that we are working in is. I don't even know if I can disclose this stuff, but I mean, it's cool. It's true. It's cool in full transparency. I mean, I love our community. I just want everybody to be happy and understand how hard we are working on the background. And I know that people always want us to deliver a ton of things at the same time. Keep in mind that we are still a startup. We raised money, but we never through an ICO, but we never sold a single token. We never raised capital besides that capital, and we still are very comfortable when it comes to runaway. It shows that we are very disciplined when it comes to spending. and we are here for the long run. But we need to be very smart on how we apply our resources, human and obviously financially.
Yeah, thank you. And the next question that I think links well with that is to Sanja. The question was asked, is the 2021 Series A funding round mentioned by Sanja still in play? If there are interest of VCs or interest of buyers, how will this affect the token and the holders?
Yeah, happy to cover that. As you all know, in the recent months, we've been part of 2 accelerators. Both of them are based in the US. One is called Alchemist, which is the larger enterprise B2B accelerator, and the other one is Berkeley Blockchain Accelerator. So through them, we received a huge interest from investors and VCs in the company, because both programs end up with a demo day presenting to potential investors. However, the reason why we haven't decided to open a round yet is, one, the money flow. The money flow is important for us, as Nuno was saying as well, to optimize our revenue. So what does that mean is that when you give a valuation to the company, it can become higher, if you collect more revenue and more transactions. So it's a simple concept, but because of that, we prefer to delay, most probably beginning of next year, our Series A rounding funding. And also, as Nuno was saying, we are very well positioned as well in terms of company reserves. That means that we don't need to fundraise. There is no rush for us to fundraise, because fundraising as well is not about the money. It's about finding the right partners as well. So when we will decide, so it's not that we will open for any VC the opportunity to invest in Utrust. It's really about finding the right companies, the right people who, one, believe in what we do, and 2, believe in the industry, and 3, they understand it in a way that when they come on board, they can also help us with their skills. So yeah, it's a great question, but rest assured that in terms of cash company reserves, we're doing really well. As you can see from our careers page, we are hiring a lot of people. So there is no rush for us to really open a round. And also, opening a round means a lot of work, especially from certain people in the company, and that means work you decide to allocate on one thing, and you don't have much time to dedicate to other things like growing. Hiring is a super priority for me at the moment. We have around 10 positions open. We will open more because we really need to have a larger team with all the volumes we are receiving. So we're hiring in product, in compliance, in marketing. And yeah, anyone interested, you can check our careers page to join our team.
Yeah, I want to move to Pedro on this one, because there's actually been 2 questions exactly on that. And the one, I'm going to read both of them because the one is is the Utrust support team ready to deal with a burst of support requests, and can Utrust scale quickly? I think, that's the one question. And the other question that links with that is with the huge interest in government developing CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, how does Utrust plan on benefiting from this? And is this something that we must be worried about, or is it positive? How do you see that? So 2 questions. The one is, can you scale? And then how does it be affected by USDCs?
Okay. If I understand correctly, the first question regarding support, I can tell you that for the first time in my life, I encountered the absolute world-class support. We have over the charts score. Our NPS is amazing. So yeah, we absolutely can scale. And especially today, in our days, there are a lot of tools that can help the support team to scale. So we are absolutely good on that. And regarding the financial part on the US, I read a lot of articles in the recent days, and I can tell you, I know that the MIT and Deloitte are working together with the US government on this, but all their expectations are 4 to 5 years. So I would say this is great news for the crypto ecosystem, because it means they want to learn and embrace it instead of going against it. But I think it's too far down the line, because as we all know, and all the people attending here know, in the crypto space, 6 months, 1 year, everything changes. So 5 years down the line, it's a long way down the line. So I think we're good, but we'll for sure keep an eye on it.
Great, thank you for that. And the interesting one, I think it was a little bit to do with the funding as well, but there's always this question, what's going to happen to the locked tokens? 2022, I remember in the ICO, when I thought 5 years locked, it felt so long, and now 5 years is just a year away. So the question really is, next year, the Utrust team will have all their current locked tokens available. What do you have to say about that to the community? And they asked how many tokens, but I think it's, if I'm correct, it's 50 million. And then will there be any restrictions, preventions, or to prevent a dump? And then they asked, could you do something else with the tokens, or what is it for development? Just a comment on that token.
First of all, Utrust only has 10% of the total supply. 90% is in circulation in the hands of our community. The other 10% has a linear 5-year lock with a yearly unlock. Technically, we already have, we will have now 14 million tokens locked, 8% of the supply. The last 2% unlocks next year, and we're not going to sell them. We are too early. We never sold a single token. We could have sold tokens, and we first of all, we are good financially. We would rather raise a Series A than actually sell our token reserves.
Yeah.
That's how we see it. And those are not team tokens; those are company tokens. The team has obviously equity and salaries. Those tokens belong to the company, and it's public. You can check the address; it's there. I mean, we never sold a single token. That's the beauty of the blockchain. We can actually monitor it, and we would rather raise money, sell equity, than actually liquidate tokens.
Yeah, it reminds me of MicroStrategy that takes out loans and and just buys more Bitcoin, and they just never sell anything, which is obviously good. Sanja, for yourself, on the next question was, how's the distribution regarding cryptocurrencies used for payments? What gets paid with what? And then the question B on that, was the Tesla paid with UTK?
So Bitcoin is still the dominant currency used for payments. However, it's like almost immediately followed by USDT. They have a very similar distribution in the overall pie chart of payments, followed by Ethereum, and then UTK and Dash. We're planning to add USDC as well as a next currency among the available ones. And yeah, in terms of average transaction, it really depends if it's invoicing or the gateway. We have higher volumes usually flowing through invoicing. So we're talking about on average like a $3,000, $4,000 transaction through invoicing. Through the gateway between $300 and $800. So yeah, that's more or less. So it's Bitcoin and USDT, quite similar, and then Ethereum, UTK, and Dash. And no, the test not paid in UTK.
And while we're on the coins topic, there was one community member that asked, and I've got to ask this: any plans of adding Dogecoin to the coin list?
Yeah, not for now. Not for now. So we, as I said before, as I mentioned before, we have a research team, and among the million things they do, they constantly talk to customers, being buyers, sellers, understanding what currencies they want to pay with. So for us, it's relatively easy to add a new coin, but it needs to be a currency that people want to pay with, because if we only have 2 people paying with a currency, is not optimal. And also, we want the user experience on the widget to be world class. So imagine like you open your widget and you have 1,000 of currencies there. It's not going to be optimal. So therefore, we opt to having like fewer, but really what people want to pay with.
Good. Pedro, moving to you, the question is a question about merchants, and I've seen that often in the chat on Telegram as well. Utrust says there's a huge demand for merchants to start using the platform. What are the reasons that they don't onboard merchants more or quicker, or are there certain merchants that are limited or blocked to join, for instance, in certain countries?
No, the thing is, we only turn public a small percentage of the merchants we onboard. So we onboard a lot more merchants that you see public. Right now, from a marketing perspective, it makes only sense to share the merchants that bring value to our brand and that we can bring value to their brand. So I would just answer to that the publicly shared merchants that onboard are a very small fraction of the reality of the backend.
Okay. I think also from a US point of view, is there anything stopping US merchants joining?
Yeah, I can tackle that one because I think the question you asked had an aspect of are there any restrictions, right, in the payment gateway, not only for US but other countries? Yeah, we have, the process looks like this. Long story short, we have a standardized KYB and onboarding policy, and we enhance due diligence following a risk-based approach. We restrict by sector, industry, and certain jurisdictions as well. So of course, we always think globally as a company, we want to serve as many customers as possible. But of course, we cannot provide services to some companies. So those can be companies that, one, don't have a legally established business, of course. Two, they offer illegal goods and services in their jurisdictions. And there are also sectors that we choose not to associate with for either business reasons or regulatory reasons. For example, pornography, we don't serve. Anyone selling weapons, we don't serve. And there are also certain jurisdictions, last but not least, under sanctions or restrictions, we are unable to serve. The complete list is on our website, and US is there as well. So we are choosing not to serve US, as I think Nuno mentioned at the beginning, due to regulatory restrictions, but it's the next region that, of course, we want to serve customers because we have a lot of requests coming from onboarding our websites, and we have to say no to many merchants. We prefer to operate in a compliant way. So that's the reason why for now we're not doing that.
Okay, good. That's the next one is very similar, almost in that same line. How long does the onboarding typically take? And is there any bottleneck problem with onboarding new merchants?
We are not facing any bottlenecks. On the contrary, we design our solution to be very easy to integrate for anyone. So even people, merchants not having any knowledge of blockchain or crypto, it's very easy to integrate. So if you compare it like to the traditional online payments world, it's more similar to Stripe rather than PayPal. So very easy to use, very easy to integrate. Two ways to integrate Utrust. I'm talking about the gateway. The first one is plugins. We are available on all the major plugin technology providers, Magento, WooCommerce. So if you have one of those technologies, just download the plugin. It's really a matter of minutes. If there is a marketplace or a retailer with a more complex website, there are custom APIs. But again, it's a matter of days and the time someone can allocate to test the sandbox. So it's really easy, and this is one point that I think it's our big strength compared to other gateways and crypto gateways. It's very, very easy to install and to use.
Yeah.
The other advantage I think you have was what Nuno announced last time, those killer features that we had that you announced for the merchants. So Nuno, news on the compound yielding and the reverse stacking for merchants. Where are the development going on that?
We are still in the research process, to be honest. From a technical standpoint, we don't think it will take a lot of time to build because we kind of discussed high level everything that needs to be in place, but we are still figuring out through research how should the UX UI look and feel. Honestly, I think this is a game changer for the industry, but if it's not properly built and not very simple to use, it might confuse some of the traditional merchants. So again, Utrust needs to do the heavy lifting of creating a user experience so easy for them to understand and to like that they will join. It should be ready at very soon, I would say, at the time that we are done with all the market research and actually finalizing the UX UI. We are very focused on this. We had like a discussion about like 5, 6, 7 different ways of the dashboard to look and feel like. But again, this needs feedback from people, needs proper research. As Sanja was saying, Utrust is very easy to use for traditional merchants that don't even understand what's blockchain, but they are using it without actually understanding, and that's the beauty of it. Same way you use your card or whatever without understanding what's going on the background. That's basically what Utrust does. Removes all the friction that comes with a new technology and creates something very simple to use and understand. And it again, for this solution, it's a complex project from a UX UI perspective. In terms of tech, it's not that complex, to be honest. It's more understanding how to build something for our customers to interact with, understand it, and like it. And that's basically it.
Yeah, it's such disruptive technology, and yeah, you need to make it easy for the people using it. Maybe on that topic, Pedro, there was a question about one of the merchants, MI store Xiaomi or in Portugal. I think I'm not sure how to pronounce that correctly. Had to discontinue crypto payments options again due to pressure from the head office. It would be nice to get a brief assessment of this.
Yeah, it's pretty simple actually. So when we onboard merchants, we always have lots of emails going back and forth, a lot of meetings. Everything went flawlessly. We asked from day one if there was any problem because we knew the brand was Chinese, and we all know that the Chinese government is not very keen on cryptocurrencies. So they always said yes, all good. The onboarding actually was flawless. They made sales on the first day, but then things went so well that we had more than 200 media hits on 24 hours. So the news got to China very quickly. And the Xiaomi headquarters told them, look, we are not supporting this. You guys should take it out. So it's on the merchant, unfortunately, but we did everything according to the plan. And it went very well, actually. So it's a pity that this happened.
It went too well.
Yeah, it went too well.
Okay, good. Sanja, can you answer the next one, please? Can you give some insights on the volume and new merchants that are joining the Utrust family? I know we spoke about there's a lot, but people want numbers. I know it's always a numbers question. So is there any numbers, volume?
Yes, I can share some stats. So I was talking with drLuke about this before. So what Nuno and I agreed for this year, as we did last year, we will share our numbers at the end of the fiscal year. So at the end of December this year, in January, we will share our numbers related to the whole year for our whole products. We might decide to change it from next year, but just for you to know, that's coming as per last year. What I can share is the actuals that we did over forecast. So what it means and how we work as a business, we divide Utrust into 3 core divisions or products, let's call them. So the first one is the payment gateway and invoicing. And of course, I'm always talking about TPV, total transacted volume. So that's our main metric, right? So gateway and invoicing. B2B, which is everything related to OTC, is mostly real estate that we're serving. And of course, hold, okay? So for all of these products, we defined a target in terms of TPV volume, total process volume. We wanted these products to hit. For hold, it's exchange volume. So this is not volume over last year. This is volume over the forecast, which was already aggressive. So on gateway and invoicing, we did plus 176% over forecasted volume. On B2B, plus 247%, and on hold, 197% on top of forecast. We can share those numbers later with you. But I think, you know, this really it speaks for itself in terms of volume of TPV growing on the platforms. We grew more than 25% month on month, and on hold more than 50% month on month. So this shows like a very healthy, a very steady growth. It's amazing. We are very happy. It exceeded all of our expectations. In terms of merchants, we are onboarding dozens of merchants per week and month. As Pedro said, not all of them are announced because we have a lot of people joining on the platform. So we are unable to announce every single one of them. It would be really overwhelming. But we try to announce the most relevant ones, the ones that we think, you know, the community might be interested in hearing. And yeah, so that's it. And in terms of growth, I think, you know, for me personally, the first metric for growth for a company at, you know, our stage is being able to see that we are hiring a lot of people. And, you know, you can see it for yourself. That means that we need to sustain a growth, and we need more people joining us to do so.
Thanks. Nuno, let's talk a little bit more about hold. You know, I think it's your you know, you can comment a lot on that. I'm going to do two questions in one. What other changes can be expected in the hold wallet in the future? And then the one specific question was, any plans to enable history of rewards in the hold app? At the moment, you cannot see what rewards is associated with what purchases.
Yeah, I will start with the last one. The history rewards feature will be deployed probably in the next update or the next one. What's happening now with hold, just to clarify, we were not expecting the number of users we have. I told this the last time, but now it's even more aggressive. We have some glitches here and there. We are super fast to fix them. The majority of time, it's not even our fault. Some of our providers have issues. For example, the last time withdrawals were not working for some hours. And during those hours, some users did withdrawals that got stuck on the blockchain. And this actually was not our fault. So we had to sit with our blockchain and custody provider partner and actually go through the issues and on spot fix them, our development team. And I talk like that and looks easy, but trust me, it's a complex thing with, I don't know, 20 developers together discussing how to fix an issue that's critical and could block the withdrawals even further. So that was a critical day, for example. So we are improving some things from the backend perspective to optimize it. When it comes to what was your first question, by the way?
It was just what can you expect changes that's going to happen and hold. There's actually quite a few, because the other question will be, the question was what other changes can be expected in the hold wallet in the near future. But there's another question that maybe expands. It says, can you tell us more about two upcoming features, cash advances and referrals on the hold app?
Yeah, definitely. From a cash advance perspective, this and also the referral, both features are already built but not deployed. Okay, we have tested the referral system quite heavily. The cash advance is built, needs some testing. I think that we could expect that coming the end of this year, probably beginning next year. Again, we are more concerned now with improving our backend to sustain the growth than launching straight away new features, when we know that if more users come in, it will break for sure. And trust me, that's our main issue now. Improving our overall backend system, make sure that everything is stable and it can grow. And when I talk about such things, these are big projects as themselves. Sometimes you need to change an entire backend of a section of the app, that interacts with other stuff in the app. And this is all something really tricky to do. I mean, you can look at Coinbase, Binance. I mean, you can look at all the exchanges. They have issues many times due to scalability. Okay, we want to be as more stable as possible to understand that if we understand that if we grow too much, it's gonna break. Then stop everything, make everything really rock solid for it to grow in a good way, and then start deploying features. And that's, I'm being straightforward, honest here. That's basically what we are doing at this point. It's not that we don't want to release more features, but we don't think that the number of users that are using Hold and joining, it should be a priority now. When the app already does what it's supposed to do quite well. Those are extra features that basically we will deploy.
There was another question on staking numbers on tier 1 and tier 2. Is there anything available on what the staking looks like now that tier 2 has been live for 2 months?
Yeah, we will share those numbers in 3 months when we do our yearly report. We always like to do it because first, it makes no sense for us to release numbers every month. I mean, we are a company, and we should Utrust as per se, and we should obviously release yearly report. And we also think that it has more impact, to be honest. They see like this year, last year, they see like, yeah, this stuff is taking serious proportions. And yeah, it's not so long from here. We will obviously share some cool numbers. Some people, I believe, that will be really surprised with our growth. We're not expecting, since we are obviously tackling the traditional space. When I talk about Utrust, we do the hard job of bringing traditional merchants to the ecosystem, allowing people to buy goods and services from their decentralized wallets as provision of Satoshi Nakamoto. That's what we are doing. That's the hardest job out there, to be honest.
No, for sure. On that, I think, Sanja, I think this one was for you. Is there an ETA for when Utrust will start expanding customer service, or actually, getting other countries involved? Especially, they mentioned Germany and the German language. There was 2 questions on German and German languages. I don't know what the relations is at the moment with that.
Yeah, that's for customer support, right? Question. Yeah, as soon as there is enough demand for customer support in any other language, our system is ready to scale. So it's not a matter of scaling the system, it's just a matter of having enough demand as well. And so far there hasn't been enough demand to justify, because what it means is that you need to hire someone in the company for supporting only in that specific language. But as soon as we do, we are ready. And yeah, as Pedro said at the beginning, I think, George is doing an amazing job in leading the customer support team. And what I like the most is really his way and his team's way in really treating everyone with the same amount of care. So no matter who comes in our support team is treated with, equal care and love and support. And that's the beauty of blockchain in the end, giving everyone equal opportunities and care, no matter if it's, a small customer, a big customer, someone who never did volumes on Utrust. He will make sure that they are, very well taken care of.
Yeah. Nuno, there's a lot more for you, because all of them are, the ones that you like, burning and all that. We've got to get to burning and all that. So the next one is, due to a possible US expansion, burning utility is no longer in question, right? Because we spoke about it last time, I think. So why are the tokens not instead locked for a very long period of time, like 5 to 10 years, and then when released, slowly reintroduced into the ecosystem with bounty or mining or giveaways or reward programs?
That's a very good question, actually a smart solution for it. But we already do it, not necessarily for 5 to 10 years. Through reverse staking, basically we are constantly locking tokens without it being considered a security. From a burn perspective, I never said it will be impossible for us to do it, but we will only do it once the US regulatory landscape gives us certainty. I assume that everybody from our community, all of us, we really want to tap into the US market. So we need to do what we are doing now. From a security perspective, UTK is not a security, it's a utility token. We can be listed in any US exchange, and obviously I believe we will. And then if the regulatory landscape changes, we implement the burn. It's that easy, but it's all about looking how things are moving and understanding that if we want to give a step bigger than our legs, we will probably have problems. And when it comes to regulation, one needs to be really careful because we have a reputation to protect, our token holders to protect, the company, the employees, the entire Utrust ecosystem cannot depend on a feature that for with what we have now, it's not that relevant, to be honest, from healthiness of the token perspective. Let's say like this.
Okay, so let's move on to yield. I think, you know, with Celsius growing so rapidly, a lot of people are talking about yield, and the question was, any chance if UTK will provide a yield option? And I think, you know, from a personal point of view, for instance, my daughter staked Utrust, but she never uses the app at all, so she doesn't get any. We can't have the card in our area, so there's no benefit for her in actually exchanging. So the question is there any other yield option in future?
I would rather not reply to that question. Let the time show us. As I told in the beginning of the call, there are a lot of things that we are working on that we cannot disclose. Okay. I could say yes or no. It's irrelevant. Let's see. I think our community trusts us a lot. We are not stupid. I believe that our team is kind of smart, and the community knows it. We understand what the community needs. We work for all of you, you know. So yeah. This being said, let's wait and see. I mean, the market has a trend, and we need to follow the trend. But at the same time, it's important for us to understand that our core product is payments. Okay, that's what's going to change the entire industry in the years to come. The rest will become a standard. But obviously, I understand your question. It's a great one. Celsius has a great product. I spoke with the CEO, but we are not going to integrate anyone, to be honest. If we deploy something like this, it's going to be by ourselves. But let the time show us. This is obviously related to UTK and not other currencies. Okay.
Absolutely.
UTK.
Well, I'm glad you didn't say no straight away. So that's good enough for me. It's a good enough answer. Sanja, for you, what opportunity does Utrust see with the introduction of the digital euro, and what are the implications of stricter regulations for Utrust?
Yeah, so it's two separate things, like digital euro and stricter regulation. So we were born token agnostic. Our strategy will always be token agnostic, meaning that we will always facilitate transactions and any digital currency that people want to pay with. So for us, I would say business as usual. Stricter regulation is something that, you know, people usually think for companies and people working in crypto, they don't want regulation to come, but I think it's the contrary, because more regulation is a positive driver on adoption. Because if you think about, you know, who's using cryptocurrency today, we cannot say they are massively adopted, right? So it's only a small portion of people. So it's like 200 million people in the world, and that's it. And why is that happening? Because, you know, if you go mass market, people are afraid. They don't know how crypto is treated in their country. They don't know how they can use it. Companies don't know, you know, if they add crypto in their treasury, how can they treat that asset in certain countries? So I think really regulation means more clarity, more trust for really, you know, massive adoption to be driven. So I see it as a very positive driver of adoption. I would say one of the main drivers of adoption.
No, I absolutely agree with you. And I think if we think back to the lift of the internet, it feels like we're back in 1996, 1997. The small users. It feels like it's slow. It feels like you have to have so much effort to how to get an internet connection, ISDN, dial-up line, and then suddenly it just takes off. So that's why we keep on building, and you keep on building. That's wonderful. Pedro, are you planning to hire more people in the marketing team?
Yes, we are currently onboarding one person in 2 weeks for the performance marketing role. So these people will be fully dedicated to running ads. He is a very data-driven person. We strongly believe in data-driven decisions. And maybe and we are also, as you can see on our website, looking for a content manager. We already have quite a short list and a very interesting one, I must say. But maybe I can go through the marketing plan if this makes sense, because it might help clarify some doubts. Could be interesting, right? So as soon as I joined, obviously I understood that we had an amazing brand perception, right? Everybody recognizes Utrust as an amazing brand in the crypto space. We ran a workshop together here in our office in Braga, and we identified our key verticals, our key industries, and we defined our merchant personas. Okay, so this is very important because in our particular kind of business, it's all about bringing leads to the sales team and onboarding leads. So it's the self-onboarding, and the big merchants that have volume go directly to the sales team so they can have a talk and a more personalized approach. So it's all about identifying verticals, identifying personas, then finding those personas on the channels, right? And in the crypto environment, we have, for instance, in our case, Telegram is an amazing channel. In other industries, Telegram is not relevant. Twitter, the same here, is a must-have. In other industries, Twitter not so much. So we go to look for these people in all these channels, and then we impact them with tailored content, sometimes organic, sometimes paid, and we send them to dedicated landing pages. So according to where they were and where they're coming from. And then on those landing pages, they tell us what are their platforms, right? So they say it's Magento, it's WooCommerce, we want invoicing. And then we put them on flows with content that tells them how to self-onboard. So this is like the whole nurturing flow. So these people should self-onboard, and we have been seeing amazing results because we use tools where we can see all the stages, and we see people self-onboard in 2-3 days. So from the moment they click on a Google ad and they install WooCommerce on their website and they install our plugin on their WooCommerce platform, they are live with Utrust. Okay, so the process is working very closely, obviously, with the sales team, because it's all about the sales team. And on top of that, I believe you all have seen influencers on YouTube and a lot of videos, but even Sanja and Nuno participating in some of them. And we are, again, as Nuno said, we have a lot on the oven, a lot of extremely exciting partnerships. Even 2 weeks ago, Nuno and I had an extremely exciting meeting. And I would say that in the next weeks, months, we will be announcing something very exciting with regarding to partnerships with marketing. So, and we are hiring. So please join us if you think you have what it takes.
Right. Yeah, look, you right. Do sound like the marketing guy at Utrust. I would definitely buy anything from you. Nuno, one for you. It's back to Hold again. Is there any reason why Hold doesn't partner with some of the well-known Swiss CC issuers like Corner Card or Kimbra or Swiss Card to release the Hold card? Is it a matter of fees? And I think that question can build out also to the Hold card in different areas other than the EU. That question is always, I think, a relevant one that people want to know.
I mean, I know how some of our community members really want the cards available in other countries. We work with countries. We are our license is passported across the entire EEA besides 3 countries alongside of them. Countries is now expanding the number of countries that we will be able to serve. So we will probably do that hand in hand with countries. They are our partners. We could technically go to other company and say, we want to issue cards through you. but so far our relationship with them has been great. They have a great company, a great product, easy to work with, and I think we will grow with them. They are also expanding to other regions, so when they do it, obviously we are in the bandwagon, and hopefully we'll be able to facilitate cards to other regions. I mean, who doesn't want that? We really want that as well, you know.
Yeah. No, for sure, definitely. We're almost getting to the ends of the questions that we had before the AMA. So I just want to remind everybody that we will, at the end of that, open the chat for some live questions that the team will take. So please think of what you want to ask, that it's a good, relevant question that we haven't spoken about already tonight. And then, because there's Sanja, there was one left for you, but really what Nuno spoke about now, the expansion to other countries. How is that going so far?
Yeah, historically, as you know, we've been focused on Europe. However, our solution is global. And I think, you know, the main challenge for us is the US. Almost 60% of the traffic on our website comes from the US. We have to say no to dozens of merchants on a weekly basis. I think I saw that there was a question in the chat you shared, Dr. Luke, about the trademark in the US. So just to clarify that.
Yeah, I can read that. Let me read it the way they wrote it. I actually sort of skipped over. Sorry to interrupt you. Let me read it exactly how they wrote it. It said, where is that one? Actually just skipped it a little bit. Here we go. If you have your trademark for the US, does it mean that Utrust can instantly operate there, or is it still something else missing? I think we discussed that. And then can you give an indication of how far you are in terms of regulations in the US?
Yeah, great. So yeah, just to clarify that obtaining a trademark and then operating in a company in a region, are two different things. And it doesn't mean that because we have the trademark, we can automatically operate in the US. However, also just to clarify, we can process payments originated from the US. We cannot onboard merchants who have their headquarters in the US. The trademark in the US that serves to basically prevent someone else from registering the same brand and using it. So I can say it's the first step to establish a brand presence in a country, as well as to, of course, protect our intellectual property in that target market. In order to enter the US market, we are assessing multiple opportunities. As you can imagine, there are multiple opportunities for us to serve that market. Because of the challenge with regulators, we are assessing multiple partnerships. So that's everything I can say. But yeah, it is high priority for us because we believe that the majority of our volumes will probably flow from the US market anyway.
Yeah, well, even if I look at CoinGecko's ratings, we were you were number one on the US, but also in Canada it was number one. So what is that the same for Canada?
No, we can serve Canada.
Okay, that's good. I think the last one or two is for you to know. We've gone through almost all of them now. The one is, will you restore the choice to change currency on the Hold app and also be able to have the Hold Visa card in your local currency?
No, we are not looking to tackle both of those now. Yeah. We don't think there is something with high priority for now. Trust me, we have so much stuff on the table that we are not talking about it in this call because we can't. That it's tough because, man, I love the community and I really wanted to share how excited I am and the stuff, everything that we are doing, but some stuff we can't. And Sanja is laughing because I mean, sometimes but again, no to that one, related to obviously other stuff that we are doing.
Okay, I think if we can ask Sophia in the background in the back end to open the the chat for us and get some questions from the chat you can maybe open your chats as well and have a look and see, what comes through. If you see something that you specifically want to answer, you're welcome, to answer that. Sophia, if you can open the chat for us. There we go. I think that's just Sophia writing that it's open. They can, everyone can send questions, and and Sanja and Pedro can answer them as as appropriate. Any final remarks that you want to sort of discuss? Well, there you go. It's already coming through. Can you see that, Nuno?
Yeah, I can. No, I cannot see the questions though.
Could you please give us a rough estimate of the total amount of merchants currently on the Utrust ecosystem? I think we spoke about that numbers. Do you want to comment on that? We're not going to have numbers tonight, or do you want to give an estimate?
Sure. I mean, registered thousands, active hundreds. I mean, we will have the numbers in 3 to 4 months when we do our yearly report. Actually, we should also specify that perhaps Sanja and Pedro go more in depth in those numbers, because those numbers are amazing. I mean, tell me one crypto project that has hundreds of partners in the traditional space. One, there's none, So, and each one of those merchants is a lot of work, sweat, and dedication, trust me, because we are kind of the conquistadors of something new, trying to explain to the old world what's the new world, and bridging both of them together. And that's why we love so much Utrust.
Okay.
But it's a hard job.
They're coming in quickly, so I'm going to read them quickly. Is Tesla a potential partner, or they might come up with their own payments?
Can you repeat that one? Sorry, I didn't understand.
Is Tesla a potential partner, or will they come up with their own payments?
Tesla.
Yeah.
Oh, Tesla. I can tackle that one. I mean, Tesla already did their integration of Bitcoin, and as you saw, it couldn't manage under overpayments and automatic refunds. There were a lot of people complaining that paid and they didn't detect the payment, or didn't refund it, or didn't manage under and overpayments. So if they are going to use us, I doubt it, because obviously Tesla probably will want to build something from their own, and that's fine. I mean, it's a huge world. One needs to be realistic, But for sure, nowadays, if you look at the payment gateways out there, when it comes to UX, UI, underpayments, overpayments, automated refunds, and all that stuff, accounting, we are very, very good. I mean, I don't know. I tested all of our competitors, and I continue to think that Utrust is in a very high standard. So if they want to use us, I mean, you can talk with Alan. He's your friend, and just put Utrust in the Tesla webpage. That will be awesome. But again, for Europe, anybody in Europe can buy a Tesla through us. Anyways, several people already bought. It's not that Tesla is the only retailer that you can accept that you can buy Tesla with crypto. You can already do it through Utrust and our partner Nicola Brussels, and you can pay with Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever currency you want.
Okay, yeah. Elon is born South African, but not my friend yet. So maybe we'll see one day. Okay, next one. This is more about the hold card in Europe. How come the hold card is available in nearly every European country except Ireland and Spain?
Yeah, it's a question. Why?
Why is it not in Ireland and Spain?
Yeah, that's Ireland, Spain, and Austria. The regulators over there declined our application to get our license passported across those countries. Something that should be resolved relatively soon with the new stuff that countries will bring into the table. They did a partnership with Solaris Bank. I think we will open doors to more countries, and also those countries that did not accept our license passporting, something quite common, by the way, will obviously have to accept it.
Okay, yeah, this is another interesting one. Maybe, yeah, I think I understand it. Will there be a way to pay directly with a cryptocurrency in hold, like linking a wallet with the hold card? Yeah, it seems important to some of the members.
I understand the question. Why do we have a mechanism. Technically, we could charge you any cryptocurrency and convert it on the back end because we already have it, and obviously charge and process the payment. There are several things that we took into consideration. First, if by some reason somebody hacks your card, or basically you pay something and you forget that it's linked to your Bitcoins, and a couple of days later you go check your balance and basically took out your Bitcoins, and Bitcoin is going up 30%, how would you feel? Okay. So the decision of converting to fiat needs to be actually confirmed. So, okay, I want to sell Bitcoin now, sell to euros, instantly top up the card. That's it. It's an extra step there that guarantees that we are not going to exchange a cryptocurrency that belongs to the user without his full acknowledgement. Okay, I know that some cards have that feature. We could implement it, but that's a simple extra step that takes literally 5 seconds and might save you from some headaches when you check your balance after some time. So it's that's actually not rocket science. We could have it. We just choose to do it a different way.
Okay. Any comments on new exchanges listings, or in the US specifically, but new exchange listings?
I mean, we don't control who lists us. We never paid a single listing. That's a good thing, because obviously they reviewed Utrust and saw that there was value on adding us. I assume that, and I know, of course, that US exchanges are managed by very smart people. I just think it's a question of time.
Yeah.
And hopefully we will be available there.
Mm-hmm. Any plan to attain a BIT license in the US?
The BIT license in New York, that's the New York license. Yeah, definitely. If we are going to serve the US market, that's a license that we'll have to tackle. Although that's the license that takes more time to get and the most difficult one to get. You have US companies that operate there for a long time that still don't have that license granted. Okay, so that's the toughest license to get in the US, in New York one.
Okay. Yeah, and there are two approaches we are evaluating for the US. So one approach is the one that Nuno is describing. So that implies like getting licensed in a single state. The other approach is to do it through a partner. Passporting, the umbrella license.
Okay, and then Taz is saying, hi Utrust, thank you for taking your time to speak to the community. And again, thank you guys, it's really great. Are you working to create a list of merchants who are partnered up with Utrust? Right now, it's difficult to figure out where you can pay with crypto.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And it's one of the first topics that we talked to Pedro about when he joined the company. So one of the main reasons why we haven't done so at this stage is very simple, and is we decided we don't want to disclose the whole merchant database for competitors to go to our customers and try to steal some of those. However, as the company is maturing now, we might decide to do so internally, because also what we're seeing is that for most of the transactions, buyers are buying in one single merchant. So that might be that they are already buying with that merchant, or they're hearing that Ivan on Tech is accepting crypto payments through Utrust. They go on his website and they buy, but then they don't know where we are available. So one way we are mitigating that already is through our newsletters, targeting directly buyers and customers and people who subscribe. We send crypto deals as well as indication of where they can spend their crypto through Utrust, but it's not yet publicly disclosed. So it's something that we're gonna work with Pedro about how to do that in the best way.
I mean, we have probably 200 or 300 merchants that we did marketing with, but we have many that have a lot of transactions that we didn't even announce. First, because they are not interested in that. Some are not interested. And the vast majority of the ones that we announce actually ask us for that, because it's a good marketing approach for them. But to be honest, a behavior that we see a lot, there are the number of users that actually buy from merchants because they see, oh, this merchant has said crypto, is not that many. People actually, if they see crypto in a checkout and they own it and they say, okay, I'm gonna pay with crypto. I think this is the behavior that happens the most. You go to a checkout, oh cool, they have Bitcoin, they have stablecoin, let me just scan my mobile, I'm ready to roll, you know, because it feels easy. You're just spending some crypto. I think that's the vast majority of the buyers just go there and see, whoa, they have crypto, I'm gonna buy. You know?
Yeah, you're right. You're not going to scan through a list and go look for a merchant. You'll just see it, and it just needs to scale. Pedro,
and if I can, sorry to interrupt. Just to add on that, we are currently working on a welcome kit for our merchants. What does this mean? As soon as they're on board, they get a manual from our side with everything they need. And one very important thing, as Nuno just said and Sanja, is that on their side, they present themselves as a crypto space where you can buy. So all the SEO, the politics they need to do, everything, it's given by us on a manual, examples, case studies, how they should do it, how they can do it, because that's the customer journey starts on the merchant and not on our side. Usually that's what we find out from our research.
Yeah. And the one
now just to add on this, because like if everyone can, you know, wants to try, if you go on Google, if you Google like buy airline tickets with Bitcoin, the first customer that will most probably come out is Alternative Airlines, and they are
the biggest one. It's ours. It's the biggest.
Right.
And this is what we're trying to do with our most important merchants as well, is to build their reputation as well in the crypto space, so customers can find them easily on the search engine.
Yeah, Pedro, just a clarification on the Chinese merchant. There was a question here that said, will the partner in the Portugal branch still accept? But I think you said no, they're not accepting crypto anymore.
No, they're not accepting crypto right now.
Yeah, okay.
There are branch from the headquarters in China. I mean, Xiaomi.
Okay. Then there's another one here. Do you plan to extend your partnership with Swissborg?
You want to tackle that one, Sanja? Or should I? I can. Yeah, definitely. Of course. We did a partnership with the intent of bringing value to our merchants from a multiple assets yield perspective, not related obviously to the stuff that we discussed from UTK. That's something internal, but definitely yes. I mean, we love their team, friend of ours, super smart. Good people from the industry, and obviously we are working with them. Their merchandise shop even uses Utrust, and from merchants' perspective, we are looking forward to leveraging this partnership and bringing value to our merchants.
Yeah, I think you can link. We can link after the URL to what we pre-announced already. So it's just a matter of continuing to working with them, but you can read everything that in the pipeline for the partnership with Swissborg.
Look, you must tell us when we meet. It's sort of almost come to an end now. It's been over an hour. You want one or two more? Or can we finish off?
I'm fine. I can stay here all night. I love it.
Okay, let's carry a little bit more. There's only a few more. Is Utrust opposed to dealing with gambling sites?
Sanja will tackle that one because she's the best person.
We don't, as I was saying, when you asked me about jurisdictions or industries that we don't cover, we cover gaming, but not gambling. So that's a company decision we've chosen so far. So yeah, gambling is not covered, but gaming, yes.
Okay. This is an interesting one. What happened on the 12th of August? There was a big day back then. Rumors, they said even Coinbase rumors, but I don't know what happened on the 12th of August. Do any of you know?
12th of August, I'm not sure. Let me search in Google.
Maybe they probably referring to a price and volume or something on the price. Not sure. Do you see PayPal as a threat as they are accepting crypto more now across the world?
No, I think
cool.
we're targeting different kinds of customers, and I think the principle and the mission is as well different. As you know, I come from PayPal. That's my background. That's how I joined Utrust. And yeah, basically what PayPal is doing now with crypto is to replicate the same closed system that they already have, applying the same fees that they already have with traditional fiat. So I think, for them, it's just another option, but it's not really going into the direction that we do with open decentralization. Really, lowering the fees for customers and really doing what blockchain should do. So we don't see it as a threat. They're doing something different with it. They target different kind of customers for now, but it's great because PayPal accepting crypto, people know PayPal, they have a brand reputation, more people are going to be interested, more people are being more interested, studying, researching, so it's great for general adoption, for sure.
And then Sebastian is asking a question. I think as far as I can remember, Sebastian is from Australia and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning there. So he's still awake. I'll definitely take his question. And he says, thanks for taking the time to answer questions, Utrust team. Is there plans for a tier 3 on hold?
I mean, let's wait and see, but definitely who does 1 tier does 2, who does 2 does 3, right? And then in some years we'll have 10 tiers. I'm joking. No, but definitely another tier might come in handy. But let's first gather some data with tier 2. So far it's going great, and if our margins allow us from a business perspective, we will definitely try to increase even to another level.
Pedro, maybe this one is for you from Maxwell. Are you approaching merchants, especially large established ones, or are you letting them come to you?
We use listening tools. So there are lots of platforms that you use the software and you know where the people that are interested in us are. So according to the personas we defined, we are looking for them, but we have a lot of inbound traffic as well. So both.
Okay, and then from Joel, not a question, just a big thank you to the Utrust team for driving adoption of crypto and DeFi.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
That is it. I think that I've gone through the questions. If there's another one, I'll pop up. I'll quickly mention it. But final closing remarks. Let's start with you, Pedro. We start with you. Let's end off with you. Give us your final remarks.
Well, for me, this is a very brand new experience, right? Reaching out to a community. It's every day is a surprise on Telegram. I'm surprised every day. I go through the chats. I see how people are excited and connected to the brand. So thank you for your support. It's been amazing, and get ready because amazing things are coming.
Okay, there's another one that came in, and good evening, and it's a bit of a longer one. Compliments to the team on the constant superior work. With exception of the time Nuno got excited, I know you don't pre-announce news. Today is a perfect day to bend the rules and give us a little teaser of what you are working on that really excites everyone. Thank you. That was from Joe.
I can't. Sanja would kill me. I mean, I really can't.
They keep on trying the community. You wouldn't expect any different, don't you? Would you?
Let's see what will happen. The thing is, there are obviously, as always, two things that we can disclose, and obviously the things that we can't, because we are not only a decentralized payment gateway, we are also a company behind it with people building it that are based to NDAs and has stuff that cannot be disclosed, but all in pro of obviously the growth of Utrust and the token health. So our community is always happy with everything that we are doing, hopefully.
Yeah. Great. Do you want to finish off with something and just a final word from you, Sanja?
Yeah, sure. So on my side, I'm very excited because we are growing double digits on all the products. We have a great reputation. We are scaling, we are onboarding new people. And yeah, for me, Utrust is about passion, energy, and commitment. And that's what I see every day coming at work. And we have an amazing culture. And for me, it's really an honor to be here in this company and to work with people that I can trust 100%, that I know they will have my back and I have theirs. And that's what matters to me.
Yeah, thank you. And then from my side, thank you for everyone helping to organize this, for my dear friend Em in the background, that's always there, always doing these amazing video work. You know, whatever's happening in his life, he's always available. He's always on the chats. He's always there to support. For Sophia in the back end and background, is helping us to set up all this with Zoom. She's really amazing to work with. You know, I get the opportunity every like once in 3 months, and it's she knows. It's wonderful to have her in the company. I'm sure that you'd like her there. It's a privilege for us, and it's been great. I'm sure we'll obviously do the next one. We'll hopefully improve them. You know, Nuno, I think back to the first one we had in December, where we had like 10 people. We've went over 100 people tonight, and I'm sure the views are going to be better off as well. Thank you for everyone being here. It's really been a privilege. It's been fun, and let's see what happens to the rest of 2021.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Luke. Thank you, Em. And thank you, Sophia, for making this happen. Thank you.
Likewise, thank you, everyone. And thank you for our amazing community. So many of them are here, some old school, some new. I think our community is getting stronger and stronger and believing in what we do. I remember that 3 years ago, payments was a dream, and now it's truly happening. Look at what's happening around us. I mean, it's not a dream anymore. It's getting serious, and I think Utrust as a business is growing a lot and getting serious. So it's very exciting for all of us, for the team, for the community, for everybody involved in this. Something that was a dream and now becoming a bigger and bigger reality that perhaps, who knows, will somehow or another shape the world and improve it. Thank you all. I love MAAs. I'm super happy.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. That was the 4th Utrust Community AMA. Stay healthy, stay safe. Till the 5th one, we meet again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.